Now to our other developing story this morning, Arizona's new immigration law taking center stage in our nation's capital as we speak. We're just minutes away from learning about the meeting between police chiefs from here in Arizona and U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder. And ABC 15 Steve Irvin is live at the Justice Department in Washington, D.C. And Steve, you know, this meeting wraps up in just about 15 minutes from now.
Yeah, we're expecting a news conference here right now. You can see members of the press corps still getting ready for that. Police chiefs from about a dozen different cities, all of them taking the podium here, all of them saying they oppose 1070, and they've been seeking the advice of the Attorney General here. Many of these police chiefs point to crime numbers, which are actually dropping in their cities, and they say that's in large part due to community policing efforts. And they say that SB 1070 has the potential to drive a wedge, a chilling effect, if you will, with many of those communities. But we've also learned that this may be part of a much larger choreographed effort on the part of the Obama administration in order to try to get comprehensive immigration reform passed as early as this year. Yesterday, of course, the announcement that 1,200 additional National Guard troops will be heading to the border, as well as $500 million in additional border protection efforts. But we've also learned that officials here at the Justice Department have been poring over the law and reviewing it, planning to challenge it on constitutional grounds. We're told that review is near complete. It would head to the White House for approval and then could result in a federal lawsuit. The notion here being that 1070 would preempt federal law and would be potentially discriminatory, and a lawsuit would be meant to derail the law itself. Now, proponents of 1070 say they're well ahead of all of this. They anticipated a challenge. They anticipated that when they wrote the law, and the law is very carefully worded to try to avoid a constitutional challenge. Nonetheless, that won't keep it from being tied up in court, perhaps for months or even years to come. We're going to be covering this news conference for you as well. We're going to be talking with Police Chief Jack Harris and the Tucson Police Chief about this issue, as well as the tragic developments there in Phoenix today. Reporting live in Washington, D.C., Steve Irvin, ABC 15 News.
And Steve, you know, we're all curious to know, what are supporters of this law saying this morning?
Well, supporters of the law, as we mentioned, you know, Chris Kobach was the author of the law. State Senator Russell Pierce, the actual sponsor of it. But Kobach is a law professor, and so in writing the law itself, he's been saying that we've already anticipated a constitutional challenge. We've already anticipated exactly what the Justice Department is going to do, and they are prepared to fight it. There's a lot of resources on both sides of this, and so you can expect it to go probably to the federal court system, Federal Court of Appeals. If there's a significant constitutional question, it's even possible it could wind up in the Supreme Court.
All right, Steve, thanks so much for your hard work this morning.